How was day one?
Day one was phenomenal. Day one was worth coming here. Just day one.
What did you learn?
About how to design programs for my clients in a way that it's a total 360-degree approach to training. Not anymore one way or two way. It's everything into consideration. Eric Price is the man. Come.
This tissue is now what? Dehydrated. So it's a different kind of stiff. It's a brittle stiff, where if I pull on it, it might do what? It might tear. Does this information go to the brain? Yeah. So what does the brain do? This can't stretch. If that can't stretch, who has to do more of the stretching and shortening? Muscle. So now what happens? Who's spending more energy to run? This guy. Do I develop faulty movement patterns because now my muscle's doing most of the work and my ligaments and tendons aren't? So I might argue that because of the state of the tissue, that might create the compensatory effects of the body, not that the brain doesn't know how to run. I think the brain's just saying, hey, this is in poor health, so we have to use more of this to get the job done. And so now the person is going to tire out faster, and there's now more wear and tear on this because it's still being pulled, but the problem is it's in a state where it's not healthy.
How did you like day two so far?
Very nice. It's more in depth. Yesterday was interesting, but now we're going more in depth. I find it very educational, and that was what I wanted to know more. So for me, it's very interesting.
Do you have any benefits to this as a personal trainer?
Yes, I think so very much. Especially for the 4Q programming, I think that will be what I take home the most from this.
Okay. So new stuff to do with your clients.
Yes, definitely. They will feel the consequences.
Again, there's rubber hoses, right? And if I'm dormant, I can see it. Like this is perfect for when I get off of a plane, because off of a plane, where does all the blood start to pool? And then it pools down here. And what's the problem with that? It stops moving. Stagnant flow. If you're in nature and there's a pond and there's static, it's just static, there's no water flowing through it, what happens to it? Algae. There's algae and there's bacteria and it just becomes gross, right? To keep it healthy, to keep it drinkable, what has to happen? You got to keep water flowing through it. So what's happening slowly is disease in the lower leg. So you need to keep fluid moving through it, and that way new fluid can come in with new nutrients. All the waste that gets built up gets to be pushed back into the body so it can be recycled or eliminated. Part is just about subtle mobility. It's super subtle. That's the hard part. But guess what happens when you get up? You're like, oh, I actually start to move a little bit freer as a result. Okay, give those three a shot with your partner.
What did you think about day two of the mentorship so far?
Well, so far I think it's again a lot better than yesterday, which was great. We've done some talking about fascia and the neuro facets of it, and it's just really interesting and mind-blowing as well. It's a whole new view on things.
How will this affect the way you train people?
Well, it'll affect everything from the warming up to the last exercise. It's a different way of coming to terms with how we should move and how we are moving now, and what materials we use, in what plane of motion, with what contraction. It's a totally different system compared to traditional training.